Greetings, thank you for lending an ear to the Voice of the Times for Saturday, November 13, 2021. For today's editorial, candidate substitutions must end. It is obviously too late to make changes to the rules that permit candidate substitutions for the upcoming May 2022 elections, but the Commission on Elections or COMELEC and Congress must work together to revoke or comprehensively revise those rules before the next elections in 2025. The practice makes a mockery of our democratic process and is preventing the development of sound political parties and institutions needed to evolve to a federal system, or even simply a more efficient and reliable version of our current system. Candidate substitution is the practice of a party substituting a different candidate for a particular political office, such as president, for one who has already filed a certificate of candidacy. Under the current rules, this may be done at the discretion of the party anytime up until COMELEC's announced deadline for it, which for the May 2022 elections is Monday, November 15. This has on several occasions led to the filing of placeholder candidates who are simply keeping the slot open for another while going through the motions of campaigning. This buys time for the actual intended candidate to gain public and material support, most often by presenting himself as a reluctant candidate who is simply responding to the call of the people. The exercise and its performative drama can be quite effective, as the Filipino electorate at large has never been particularly discerning of the contrivance behind the reluctance and seems to identify strongly with those who make an effort not to appear ambitious. The most famous and most successful use of candidate substitution is probably that which put then Davao Mayor Rodrigo Duterte in Malacanang. To be clear, with the state of electoral politics being what it is, we are not criticizing any political party, candidate or would-be candidate for engaging in substitution. They cannot be faulted for taking full advantage of the rules that allow it, and so long as the rules exist, it could be said that election contenders would be foolish not to do so. The rules are the problem, not the people they apply to. And the rules should not exist, or if they must in some form, be much more restrictive and justifiable than they are now. The primary reason why candidate substitution must be ended or severely limited is that it perpetuates personality politics, something which is almost universally condemned, but which no one ever seems to be interested in trying to change. In order to shift to a federal or parliamentary system, an idea long favored by a majority of the people, stable political parties must exist. Even if the form of the government is not changed, stronger parties would be an advantage because it would improve the quality of our leaders. If parties know that they must develop their own talent and cannot count on being able to recruit a popular personality at the candidacy filing or substitution deadline, they will work harder to hone their own policy positions and ideas and the skills and experience of their members. Ending the practice of substitution completely would be the best solution and is completely justifiable. There may, however, be legitimate reasons to allow it under certain circumstances. In any event, totally banning a practice that offers a huge advantage to some office seekers will be a tough sell among lawmakers. That being so, we can offer a suggestion of how reasonable substitution might be allowed. A situation in which a party's candidate dies or is in some incapacitated to continue a campaign would be understandable. In that case, the party could substitute another of its members. Since that would be a sort of a force majeure situation, the COMELEC should not impose a deadline for it. However, to prevent the system from being abused, substitution should only be allowed if the substitute candidate has been a legitimate member of the party for a reasonable amount of time, like a year at least. Again, these are things that can only be considered for the next election, as it would be unfair to change the rules in mid-campaign for 2022. But we certainly hope that changes would be seriously considered after that, and election circuses made a thing of the past. And that's the editorial for Saturday, November 13, 2021. For more news and information, get a copy of the Manila Times on print, subscribe to its digital edition, or log on to www.manilatimes.net. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, and listen to the Voice of the Times.